years. No, the crisis, there wouldn't have been a crisis if they hadn't intervened with the government-sponsored enterprises already for years, and with the money printing essentially for the last 20 years. There wouldn't have been a crisis.
That's right. They create the problem and then pose as the savior. Joining us from Thailand, Dr. Marc Faber. We're going to come right back, sir, with a final segment with you to talk about what you think individuals can do on average and investors to protect themselves, because they're not going to listen to you or Ron Paul or others. They're going to go ahead with the Keynesian model. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it. Others don't.
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
We've got some breaking news that I'll cover after Dr. Faber leaves us in 7-8 minutes. You know, I did that Mark Moreno interview of Climate Depot where we broke down all these academics saying arrest people that disagree with man-made global warming. And we talked about that professor that says we're mentally ill and need to be treated. YouTube took our video down and is threatening to suspend an account with 190+ million views on it. Again, that's the political correctness. That's how authoritarian these people are. And I'm going to find out who did this. It's time this professor, if she's the one that did it, has legal action. Because I've had it with these people. They think this is the Soviet Union, and it's not. You better use your First Amendment or you're going to lose it. Dr. Faber, on a separate issue, there's all these calls to censor the web, to spy on people worldwide. I mean, why do you think the world is lurching towards authoritarianism, or do you disagree with that statement?
Well, I think that if you look at history, you know, even in a democracy, you get then power structures. And if you read Animal Farm, the regime starts always with good intentions, or even communism started with good intentions, and then you have an elite that comes out of it and abuses the system. And I believe the political class today is so much involved in business and in money-making. As you pointed out, the members of Congress, they outperform every other fund manager because of their inside information, that they don't want to lose power. And they realize at some point that it's not about representing the interest of the people, but it's about controlling the people, and that they need armies and police not to protect the people, but to protect them against the people. And I think we're moving into that stage now in the United States, and also, by the way, other Western democracies, whereas here in Asia and other emerging markets, we're moving towards a more liberal society. So we have different cycles in societies. And I'm sorry to say, in the U.S., I always feel that you are under threat. And, you know, you go through an airport, it's like going through a Gestapo police station.
Well, you're right, Doctor. In closing, spend a few minutes on what you would do as an individual investor, I mean, tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're covering over at the Gloom, Boom, Doom report.
Yes. You know, the viciousness of money print is that they are symptoms of inflation, but they don't occur all at the same time. So basically, an investor should have been in NASDAQ stocks until March 2000. And after that, he should have been essentially long gold and so forth. And it shifts this inflation from one asset to another. It's very difficult to maneuver and know exactly what will happen and where the best performing asset will be. We all don't know how the world will look in 5 years' time. My advice to people in the U.S. is I would hold some assets outside the U.S., whether it's real estate or funds, and I would have the custody outside the U.S. There's no point to own assets outside the U.S., but have the custody in the U.S. And so diversification is very important. Secondly, as you point out in your program, one day the issue may not be about performing well, but actually surviving and performing relatively well. You know, when the whole world loses 90% of its asset base, that you only lose 30% or 50%. So I think that you should own some gold, and but you have to own it in physical form and not on leverage, that you can withstand the downside volatility such as we have now. We peaked out at 1921, $1,921 on September 6, 2011. We're now just about 1,600, so we had quite a significant correction. I think we're still in a correction phase. And I would own some equities, diversified portfolio. My preference is for equities in Asia because I think they're cheaper and they have different yields. I can assemble here a portfolio of equities that would have a dividend yield on the portfolio of, say, 5–6% quite easily. So compared to government bonds, I think that's quite attractive. I would avoid 30 years government bonds, except maybe at the trade for the next 10 days or so. But by and large, I would avoid that asset class because I think that particularly in a deflationary scenario, the fiscal deficit would go ballistic because the tax revenues would collapse. So in either case, inflation or deflation, you're going to lose money with your treasury bonds. And I think in the US, in the South, the real estate market, homes are now very reasonably priced by international standards. I've seen homes in Atlanta that were cheaper than we could have bought here in Thailand.
In closing, Dr. Faber, who again is the editor and publisher of the Gloom, Boom, and Doom report, gloomboomdoom.com, on the current path that the Keynesians are taking us on, clearly going for an authoritarian system, setting all this up, historically, what's your gut view on where all this is going?
As I said, nobody knows, but my best guess is that they will print money, and much more than they have. What we've seen is just an appetizer. This hasn't been anything compared to what is yet to come. And that this will impoverish the lower income groups, including the middle class. And then the social climate in the country will deteriorate very badly. And so the government, with their business friends, they will either target a minority group and attack them, or blame everything on the Chinese, and most likely they will then go to war. And eventually the whole system will completely collapse, the financial system. By the way, if the whole derivatives market, which is now a quadrillion, collapses, it has an influence on agricultural land in the United States or on the lives of people here in Chiang Mai in the north of Thailand. I think it's a gigantic bubble that has to be essentially eradicated one day. We will vanish from the face of the earth.
Very well said. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us all the way there from Thailand, now at almost
It's my pleasure.
2 in the morning. Thank you, Dr. Faber.
Thank you very much for having me on your program.
Thank you. All right, there he goes. Key information, some of his Skype breaking up from the other side of the planet, but it was intelligible, and we appreciate him joining us. Man, during the break, Aaron gave me this, and I just became beside myself with anger because this is pure political correctness that we did a newscast with Mark Moreno, and they left one part of it up and took the other part down, where I made fun of that professor who says that we're crazy if we don't believe in man-made global warming and need to be basically put in a psychiatric facility. And it's been all over the news. And so we did a joke graphic where, you know, I'm there in a mental institution and, you know, she's in a straitjacket with a cat in her arms, because I joked and said she looks like a cat lady. I like cats, grew up with cats. The point is, you know, the classic liberal image of sandals and long hair and a cat. I mean, just, again, they do jokes like this on Saturday Night Live every day about public figures. You get a professor comes out and says we're mentally ill for something, and you've got all these other professors saying arrest people that disagree with this, and they go and they take it down, and YouTube says they've reviewed it. Now, I've challenged these before. One time, we had a community guideline strike on a milquetoast video criticizing Obama on his policies, and there was nothing about race, didn't call him names, nothing. But it doesn't matter. I'm sick of it. And I've had enough. I mean, even if I don't win a lawsuit against YouTube, and I'm not a litigious person, I'm sick of Google. I'm sick of them spying on everybody. I'm sick of the fact that they dominate the web. So I'm on there, on their site. One of our sites has close to 200 million views. It's a way I reach the young people. You know, I've got XM, I've got AM and FM affiliates, I've got my own streams, but they could shut us down on my sites. I have prisonplanet.tv as our own platform. And here's an example of the last strike I got from them that I appealed, and they threatened to shut my channel down, but I still did it. So you appeal to them, these unseen minions at Google. Then they say if they disregard your appeal or find that you're wrong,